Hello, my darling junior squirrels and senior squirrels who join us. Granny feels good today. I even have some energy if my glasses would just stay straight. Ugh. It's not the glasses, like I've said before. You know, everybody's got... all our parts are not exactly... I need it like that. Like one ear's lower than the other or whatever. Or mine is, I reckon. It's always been like that. Okay. We shall tarry no longer. We don't have much more to go. In the Golden Bird. My batteries started working again. I turned them off. I guess they rejuvenated. Yay. Okay, let's see. I'll read the last sentence we read. But one thing you must mind, take care to put upon him the plain saddle of wood and leather, and not the golden one, which will hang close by, otherwise it will go badly with you. Then the fox stretched out his tail, and the king's son seated himself upon it, and away they went over stock and stone until the wind whistled through their hair. And it feels so good outside today. It's overcast, but beautiful breezes. Oh, it's so lovely. Just made me think of that. And everything happened just as the fox had said, and he came to the stall where the golden horse was. And as he was about to put on him the plain saddle, he thought to himself, such a beautiful animal would be disgraced were I not to put on him the golden saddle, the good saddle, which becomes him so well. However, no sooner did the horse feel the golden saddle touch him than he began to neigh. And the grooms all awoke, seized the king's son, and threw him into prison. The next morning he was delivered up to the justice and condemned to death. But the king promised him his life, and also to bestow upon him the golden horse if he could convey thither the beautiful princess of the golden castle. With a heavy heart the king's son set out, but by great luck he soon met with the faithful fox. I ought now to leave you to your own ill luck, said the fox, but I'm sorry for you and will once more help you in your need. Your way lies straight up to the golden castle. You will arrive there in the evening, and at night, when all is quiet, the beautiful princess goes to the bath. And as she is entering the bathing house, go up to her and give her a kiss. Then she will follow you and you can lead her away. But do not suffer her first to go and take leave of her parents, or it will go ill with you. Then the fox stretched out his tail, the king's son seated himself upon it, and away they went over stock and stone, so that the wind whistled through their hair. And when he came to the golden castle, all was as the fox had said, and he waited until midnight, when all lay in deep sleep. And then as the beautiful princess went to the bathing house, he went up to her and gave her a kiss. And she willingly promised to go with him, but she begged him earnestly and with tears that he would let her go and take leave of her parents. At first he denied her prayer, but as she wept so much the more and fell at his feet, he gave in at last. And no sooner had the princess reached her father's bedside than he and all who were in the castle waked up, and the young man was seized and thrown into prison. The next morning the king said to him, thy life is forfeit, but thou shalt find grace if thou canst level that mountain that lies before my windows, and over which I am not able to see. And if this is done within 8 days, thou shalt have my daughter for a reward. So the king's son set to work and dug and shoveled away without ceasing. But when, on the 7th day, he saw how little he had accomplished, and that all his work was as nothing, he fell into great sadness and gave up all hope. But on the evening of the 7th day, guess who appeared? The fox. And said, you do not deserve that I should help you, but go now and lie down to sleep, and I will do the work for you. The next morning when he awoke and looked out of the window, the mountain had disappeared. The young man hastened, full of joy, to the king and told him that his command was fulfilled, and whether the king liked it or not, he had to keep his word and let his daughter go. So they both went away together, and it was not long before the faithful fox came up to them. "Well, you have got the best first," said he, "but you must know the golden horse and the golden bird belong to the princess in the golden castle." "But how shall I get them?" asked the young man. "I'm going to tell you," answered the fox. "First, go to the king who sent you to the golden castle and take to him the beautiful princess. There will then be very great rejoicing. He will willingly give you the golden horse, and they will lead him out to you. Then mount him without delay and stretch out your hand to each of them to take leave, and last of all to the princess. And when you have her by the hand, swing her up on the horse behind you, and off you go. Nobody will be able to overtake you, for that horse goes swifter than the wind." And so it was all happily done, and the king's son carried off the beautiful princess on the golden horse. The fox did not stay behind. And he said to the young man, "Now I will help you to get the golden bird. When you draw near the castle where the bird is, let the lady alight, and I will take her under my care. Then you must ride the golden horse into the castle yard, and there will be great rejoicing to see it. And they will bring you to the golden bird. As soon as you have the cage in your hand, you must start off back to us, and then you shall carry the lady away." The plan was successfully carried out, and when the young man returned with the treasure, the fox said, "Now, what will you give me for my reward?" "What would you like?" asked the young man. "When we are passing through the wood, I desire that you should slay me and cut my head and feet off." "Oh, let's see. That were a strange sign of gratitude," said the king's son, "and I could not possibly do such a thing." "Then," said the fox, "if you will not do it, I must leave you. But before I go, let me give you some good advice. Beware of two things. Buy off no one from the gallows, and sit at no brookside." And with that, the fox ran off into the wood. So the young man rode on with the beautiful princess, and their way led them through the village where his two brothers had stayed. There they heard great outcry and noise, and when he asked what it was all about, they told him that two people were going to be hanged. And when he drew near, he saw that it was his two brothers. I was afraid of that. He asked if there were no means of setting them free. "Oh, yes, if you will buy them off," answered the people. "But why should you spend your money in redeeming such worthless men? And if he buys them off, uh-oh." But he persisted in doing so, and then when they were let go, they all went on their journey together. After a while, they came to the wood where the fox had met them first, and there it seemed so cool and sheltered from the sun's burning rays that the two brothers said, "Let us rest here a little beside the brook and eat and drink to refresh ourselves." The young man consented, quite forgetting the fox's warning, and he seated himself by the brookside, suspecting no evil. But the two brothers thrust him backwards into the brook, seized the princess, the horse, and the bird, and went home to their father. "Is not this the golden bird that we bring?" said they. "And we have also the golden horse and the princess of the golden castle." Then there was great rejoicing in the royal castle, but the horse did not feed, the bird did not chirp, and the princess sat still and wept. The youngest brother, however, had not perished. The brook was, by good fortune, dry, and he fell on soft moss without receiving any hurt, but he could not get up again. But in his need, the faithful fox was not lacking. He came up running and reproached him for having forgotten his advice. "But I cannot forsake you all the same," said he. "I will help you back again into daylight." So he told the young man to grasp his tail and hold on fast, so he drew him up again. That was one of my mom's sayings. Hold on fast. Still, you're not quite out of danger, said the fox. Your brothers, not being certain of your death, have surrounded the wood with sentinels, who are to put you to death if you let yourself be seen. A poor beggar man was sitting by the path, and the young man changed clothes with him and went, clad in that wise, into the king's courtyard. Nobody knew him, but the bird began to chirp, and the horse began to feed, and the beautiful princess ceased weeping. What does this mean? Said the king, astonished. The princess answered, I cannot tell except that I was sad, and now I am joyful. It is to me as if my rightful bridegroom had returned. Then she told him all that had happened, although the two brothers had threatened her if she told anything. The king then ordered every person who was in the castle to be brought before him, and with the rest came the young man, like a beggar in the wretched garments. But the princess knew him and greeted him well. The wicked brothers fell upon their knees, begging forgiveness, which was granted. The youngest brother was married to the princess and succeeded to the inheritance of his father. But what became of the poor fox? Long afterwards, the king's son was going through the wood, and the fox met him and said, Now you have everything you can wish for, but my misfortunes never come to an end, and it lies in your power to free me from them. And once more he prayed the king's son earnestly to slay him and cut off his head and feet. So at last he consented. And no sooner was it done than the fox was changed into a man, and was no other than the brother of the beautiful princess. And thus he was set free from a spell that had bound him for a long, long time. And now indeed there lacked nothing to their happiness as long as they lived. So they all lived happily ever after. And next time we'll read East of the Sun and West of the Moon. And Granny's going to say her usual. Be sweet and don't be ugly. Love to you all. Hey, my little Katarina. Be sweet. See you later.